Welcome to Uncaged, a show that celebrates thought leadership from today's top business leaders. The program provides a voice to amazing executives from around the globe who are shaping the world of business today and mapping the path to the commerce of tomorrow. Today, we're speaking with Erwin Feldhaus. Erwin, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
I am well. And today, we're going to talk about a whole bunch of things, but with Erwin's incredible background in entrepreneurship and leadership, we're going to be talking a lot about those two ideas, how they come together, how we can be better leaders, entrepreneurial leaders, and moving things forward. Erwin is an LP and advisor for Loyal VC, which is a global venture fund with quarterly redemptions and proprietary gate stage process, reducing investment bias and unlocking greater returns. He's also on the board of advisors of several businesses and does a lot of amazing things. And we're going to go through all of those in a second. But Erwin, before we get there, tell me a little bit about your own journey to being a leader and an entrepreneur.
Oh, thanks, man. So, the own journey is starts in Mexico, where I was born. Then I studied in Germany, mechanical engineering, went on back to Mexico, worked in Mexico and the US for 3 years each. Then I did an MBA, and then my entrepreneurial journey started. I founded a company in the year 2000, and then I founded the second one, 2001, and so on and so forth. 2010, then I, stepped aside from entrepreneurship. I went to do economic promotion for Mexico. So basically helping the process of attracting foreign direct investment into Mexico. It was a fantastic time. We did a great job at the time, I think. Well, basically a big country with many opportunities. And then from 2014 to 2022, I took on executive jobs as a CEO, managing director, regional director in different positions. Very much in charge of transforming the businesses and trying to get a new purpose for them.
Yeah. And I mean, it's great to hear the range of experiences that you've had, and certainly the opportunities to be a leader in large organizations and startup situations, in bureaucratic situations as well. Tell me what you've learned and tell me what you're working on right now.
Sure. So, well, what I've learned, I never stop learning, I would say. And I think that's the great thing about leadership, is that the more you learn, the less you think you know, and the more you want to learn. So it's been an excellent journey, and every single challenge has been an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to find ways to connect with people. And at the end, that's basically what it is all about. Leadership is about people and working with people, trying to obtain the results that can only be obtained collectively.
I love that. It's about working and leading and finding ways to get the most out of teams and in a symbiotic way, which totally makes sense. But tell me a little bit more. I mean, as a company, Loyal's clearly worked with a ton of startups, and you have as well. What are the unique challenges that entrepreneurs have as leaders that you really see can be kind of pitfalls for them?
Well, I would say there's a clear difference for entrepreneurs to executives. So in an executive environment, the executive environment can be a little bit more permissive in terms of making mistakes. In the entrepreneurial environment, mistakes can very quickly lead to basically defeat, except if you as a leader are willing to recognize challenges and pivot, react quickly. So there's less time for you to be sitting around and thinking about what could be the best solution. You have to be on your feet and on your toes basically all the time. And that
Yeah.
is a challenge. You have to imagine an entrepreneur has to be running a marathon out of sprints, right? So you're sprinting all the time, but you have to last a marathon.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, being an entrepreneur myself, there's no doubt you're going to make tons of mistakes as a leader, as an entrepreneur. And I think probably the biggest mistake, kind of the killer mistake, is to be bullheaded, bullheaded and not be able to hear other voices and not pivot quickly. It's a really, really strong point you're making there, Erwin, and certainly one that I hope entrepreneurs that are listening here pick up on right now. But what are some of the other trends that you're seeing right now in terms of effective leadership? What do individuals need to be thinking about right now?
Well, I actually see the bigger companies have to start adopting more or less the same behaviors that entrepreneurs have been forced to adopt. The world is changing so fast. The world as we know it just remains like that for a very limited time, and then it changes completely. We've seen that over the past crisis that we have to face. They come at a pace that is unprecedented. And there is not much time to just adapt to the new situation. So you have to come up with behaviors that are a little bit counterintuitive to what leadership used to be, right? So there's instead of having a I know it all approach, you have to admit that you don't understand the whole picture, and that you have to sense and try to understand what the situation is bringing, and then basically experiment and go in different directions to sense where it makes more effect.
Yeah, I mean, Erwin, when you look out into kind of maybe your own career, but also just out in the landscape today of international corporate world, what examples of leadership really kind of pop for you, of things that you say, oh, wow, this is a really good thing that they're doing here? It doesn't need to be a specific company, but what are the traits that we really need to be kind of appreciating, and then if we don't have them, developing?
Yeah, I'm a values-driven person, and I really recognize people and value people that actually stand for what they believe in, right? So it's very important to try and be human. So when we listen at what is the topics that are being spoken about. Diversity, be it gender diversity, but I call it, it's diversity in every sense, right? It's racial, it's gender, it's cognitive diversity. This diversity is richness, and the richness helps to be better prepared in every situation. So leaders that are embracing diversity in all the different aspects that it may come in, leaders that are embracing the challenges of ESG, that are not trying to greenwash. These leaders will grow as we see these topics evolve, right?
Yeah, no, I think it's a really, really good point. And certainly the area of DE&I, diversity, equity, and inclusion, as well as sustainable business practices, and doing that in a way that is meaningful and purpose-driven and principled, is absolutely key. But I mean, Erwin, we've been living over the last 3-4 years through, I would say, probably the moment that historians will write about for generations, hopefully, if we're all still around on this planet. But, it's been quite an interesting moment to live through, quite painful at times, but also a learning period. What insights do you have for us regarding leadership that you picked up over the last couple of years?
Well, I think that especially in the last 2-3 years, it has become evident that we don't know what we don't know, right? So the book that was written by Nicholas Taleb, the Black Swan. Um, Over many decades, humans were thinking we harness everything, right? We harness nature, we harness the planet, we harness technology. And the fact is that we've done as a species a very, very poor job at this. So at the point that we're today basically destroying our habitat. As you say, if someone is going to be around in many years, something has to happen today and not in 20 or 30 or 50 years. And not trying to, so leaders should not be trying to get away with the minimum here. I think that generations to come expect us to do the maximum, and that will probably lead to very difficult decisions that have to be made today. And I think that this is going to be one of the major traits of good leaders, is that we have to take those difficult decisions, the right decisions, right?
Yeah, I think it's a really, really good point. I want to kind of ask you some tricky questions that I hear about leadership and just get your kind of take on these things, because I know you've faced these issues. One of the challenges that we see as leaders is that there are short-term financial metrics, short-term goals, economic goals, and longer-term principles. How do you balance that short-term and, let's say, mid-term thinking?
Well, leaders are called leaders because they are leading, right? So it is very much so that leaders are setting those KPIs. So if we are at the same time saying that we need to have some principled long-term decision making, and turn around and tell our managers to go and get the short-term returns, this can't fly forever, right? So this is hypocritical in a sense. We have to align KPIs with our long-term goals. We have to align the actions with what we're saying. Otherwise, we lose credibility. And if we lose credibility, then basically our chances are over. Yeah. So I think that there is I would say even that people understand these days more than ever that short-term profit making is probably not what we should be doing. So we should be looking at the long term, and we should try and decide things accordingly.
Let me ask you another one. It's another topic that I've thought a lot about in leadership, which is this topic of compromising, right? So it seems to generally be in fashion today to be a person that does not compromise. At least perhaps in the US market, leaders seem to be people that don't compromise and they scream and yell about their positions. But I don't know, I'm curious. I generally have found in my life that compromise is a critical skill to have, and how you do it to be a true leader.
Well, you're right. I mean, there's no human without compromise. Humans have to make decisions all the time, and most of the decisions are compromises. They are not, there's no black and white in mostly anything. Yeah. So this is a hard job, right? Anyone who has been at the in charge of a business has probably faced situations where they have to make very difficult decisions, painful decisions, like captains when the ship is sinking, right? Yeah. There is no easy way out, but I think that the essence, the most important thing about when you're forced to do compromises is that you do this based on your values. So I think the foundation of good decision making are values. Strong values, strong principles and especially putting the human and let's put it in a larger context, the environment and the planet in where it belongs, then we will probably make the better choices. But sometimes,
let's put that in the context of 2023. So here we are in a brave new world and looking out over this year. And, there's a lot of people that have strong values, right? Good values and trying to put stuff forward. But what do you see on the docket for this year? What are entrepreneurs and leaders going to be thinking about?
Well, we see a lot of challenges to our values, don't we?
Yeah.
So we have, at least in the Western Hemisphere, we have been very, very convinced about certain values that have also brought a lot of wealth, or let's say not wealth, but well-being to many humans. These when wars start and these values get undermined, then obviously it is not easy, right? So we will see probably more of these challenges coming, and it will not be easy to take the right decisions in the business world, right? So we talk about energy prices, we talk about supply chain disruptions, we talk about, we haven't really understood what are going to be the long-term effects of the pandemic. The entire world of work has been put on its head. So all of these things are coming together and will not go away very quickly. So 2023 will be a very challenging, but also a very a year full of opportunity for those who are willing to take opportunity, right?
Yeah, seize upon it and really kind of accept it and accept the challenges and accept the uncertainty and build from there. Erwin, it's been amazing chatting with you today. Erwin, if someone wanted to reach you and learn more about what you're up to in terms of leadership, entrepreneurship, the work that you do at Loyal, where's the best place to find you?
Well, you can go always to LinkedIn and find me there. I think that's the easiest.
Yeah, probably. Well, listen, Erwin, it's been amazing chatting with you. We've been speaking with Erwin Feldhaus. We've been really talking a lot about the topics of leadership, entrepreneurial leadership, as well as just direct leadership in big companies as well. And we find ourselves in a moment where there's a lot of challenges for leaders, but Erwin really was driving home the point of having strong values, using that as a foundation for maybe shaping what should be your true north going forward. Erwin's an LP and advisor at Loyal VC and works on a wide variety of other areas as well. Erwin, thank you so much for being on Uncaged today and for your insights, and we look forward to having you back.
Ben, thank you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers.